welcome back to Get Good Gaming, home of the world's most magnanimous gamers. My name's Delapo, and today we are joined by Byron from ShadowFoxGaming. How you doing, Byron?
Doing great. Can't complain. How are you over there?
We're good, thank you very much. Okay.
Awesome.
So today on Get Good Talks, we have a great subject here for you. The subject being to delay or not to delay.
Ooh,
all right,
like that title,
right? Yeah, we're getting pretty professional over here with all these titles.
A little
Takes
bit
a lot of time.
right there.
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. Okay, so the topic begins. Shigeru Miyamoto, Mr. Mario himself, once said, "A delayed game is eventually good. A bad game is forever bad." While this isn't true for every case, we can see the general truth behind it. Now, neither one of us is actually a game developer, but we are avid gamers. There has never been a time in history where I've said, wow, I'm really glad they decided to delay this game that I've been looking forward to. However, there have been times where I've played a game that was delayed and said that it was most likely the right call. So, how about you? Have you ever had something like that happen where you were happy that a game was delayed initially?
There have been a few games that I have been very happy to have it delayed. Of course, it's very frustrating at first, like you said, for every game out there, and just for it to be delayed, and you're just so excited about it and can't wait for it to get out.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, sometimes it is the better thing to do because it gives them more time to sharpen certain graphics or maybe work with certain mechanics and make it flow better. You know, just that type of thing.
Right. There are many circumstances that have caused games to be delayed, and there are many more games that than we even know of that have been delayed, but they just haven't, been so public about it. This is mainly because these games didn't have solid release dates. This comes a question of whether or not games should be given launch windows so far out. So, like, for instance, a lot of people during this past E3 this year had some complaints with the fact that Sony didn't really give us any, solid dates as far as, when a lot of their like blockbuster games are going to be coming out. For many of them, they were just like 2018. Now, as someone who has been, disappointed by hearing that a game is delayed, honestly, I like in recent times I'm just like, why are they releasing why are they telling us these dates so far out? Like, for instance, we heard about not Call of Duty, God of War, I think, was it last year? And they showed us like the first Daddy Kratos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they showed us that last year. Like, why it's like one of those situations, like, why so far out? I understand, like, building buzz and that kind of thing, but at the same time, it's weird. It's just it's a weird situation.
It's just kind of I guess more of a preparation type of stage, just to people know that it's not going to be any later than 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of give them a little cushion in between for, like you said, fixing bugs and whatnot. And if they can get it out sooner, then awesome.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, it is kind of strange, but I do understand the implications that it would have.
And honestly, like, when they say 2018, they generally mean they don't. I mean, I think from a business standpoint, it's better to say I don't know sometimes, like in certain situations. Like, it's just like, this game's coming out in this general time period, because at the end of the day, a consumer can't get mad that a game didn't come out in March when they never said it would.
This is true. There are certain times where you should just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, and it's funny because Rockstar, the people who make all the Grand Theft Auto games and the Red Dead game, like, when when Red Dead was delayed, like when they told everybody that Red Dead was delayed, I was not surprised at all. Not even a
No.
little bit. Because Rockstar has this reputation, like they delay their games, but at the end of the day, they make some of the most polished games ever. I mean, they make games that people, like fans, you know, they rave about. Like look how well Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online, like you see how well they're still doing.
Yeah,
to this
that's
day,
true.
is because Rockstar turns out quality products, and at the end of the day, like Shigeru Miyamoto said, like a bad game is bad forever. You know, Mass Effect Andromeda, one of the game, like personally I've played it, it's not that bad. I don't understand, like, you know, the hate it gets, but it has that stigma behind it of that initial, like that rocky launch that it had, where the game was people started showing all the bugs and glitches in the game, you know, on all their, like, you know, websites and things like that. A game like that probably needed more time to incubate, you know?
Yeah, I have heard that. I've heard pretty much both sides of the story. It was terrible. Personally, I haven't actually played Mass Effect. I have a friend who just loves it. And I do plan on playing it, and maybe I will feature it on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
But it does seem like a very interesting storyline, and just for the sake of imagination, it's kind of cool that they would go into an alternate timeline, I guess you would call it, just to show a more broader spectrum of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, from a traditionalist view, I can kind of see where some of the hate would come from, but from the side of always wanting something new and improved, or something to expand upon, it's really refreshing to see, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, from a logistical standpoint, delaying games can actually cause a lot of issues, because how it goes, and this is just like a general summary of how game development goes, as far as, you know, publishing a game and getting it out of the door. So a lot of times you'll have a company that has a certain budget for a video game. They say, okay, this is how much we're going to put behind this video game. And to produce a video game, it takes a lot of money, especially for like these AAA, you know, games. So it takes money to pay people to render artwork. It takes money to have people voice act and all these things, and the music and all that kind of thing. So when a game gets delayed, it's actually bad on a logistical scale, because they aren't able to have their product out to recoup, you know, the money they put into it. So when a game gets delayed, like, so let's say Crackdown, like we're going to talk about more later, it's not going to have that Christmas boost, you know. So that's something they have to think about themselves, like, okay, yes, it's not going to have this Christmas boost, but we also don't want to put out a game that's unfinished. So it's just one of those, like, balancing act kind of things, and it's a rough spot, especially for Microsoft to be in.
Definitely
with that game. It's really unfortunate, but at the same time, you know, it's what we'll see when the game comes out. I've seen many a game that was delayed, and it came out and it still wasn't good. Like there was like Yooka-Laylee, there was Mighty Number 9, both of which were delayed, and they still ended up being received
kind of
rather poorly.
Buster.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because, you know, if you look at that, and there are people whose jobs that their livelihoods, and they had to make that conscious decision to delay the game, and you sit there and you're just like, wow, how much worse would the game have been had it come out when they said it was supposed to, you know?
Right. It's very unfortunate. It is very, like you said, it's very bad logistically, just for the whole thing, because like you said, they're losing money on something that's not being produced.
Mm-hmm.
Just like anything that gets delayed, you're losing money because you're losing time on it, and you're also using resources that is expensive. And it's very bad just initially because people will forever associate you with that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put out terrible games, even with a delay, then unfortunately, you're just going to have a pretty rough time with maintaining your current customers, and much more so gaining new ones.
Right.
Because nobody's going to want to go and buy games from a producer that just didn't put out enough.
Mm-hmm. Speaking more closely related to the Xbox One X, it's going to come out later this year. Now, at launch, they've got Forza. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Forza is not the system seller that people. I'm not entirely sure that Crackdown was going to be either, but I do believe that it was a strength that the console had, because it was it was another thing that was going to be able to show off exactly what the Xbox One X can do, and now it won't even have that at launch. It's still got the whole gallery of games from the Xbox One that it'll be able to play, and it'll be able to run better, and they'll look better due to super sampling and that kind of thing, and that's great. But at the same time, I didn't buy my Game Boy Advance to play Game Boy Color games.
Right.
It's one of those things that's kind of like sort of like a half step, but at the same time it's just like
It's cool.
It's not here. It's a nice little feature that it has, but I want to be able to play these games in like the 4K that you promised, the 4K 60 frames that you guys said I'd be able to play things at.
Right. That is definitely frustrating. Like you said, you're not buying a Game Boy Advance to play Game Boy Color. You're not buying a Wii to play GameCube games.
Exactly.
Buying it to play Wii games. That's something else. It's just very frustrating when people don't live up to what they promise.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are circumstances, like we've discussed before. There are some circumstances that you can understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly easy, but at the same time, like you've said before, don't give us a date and then not live up to
exactly. Yeah. And
so
yeah,
it's just it is very frustrating.
Yeah.
Definitely very frustrating.
So do you, in your opinion, do you think they should have moved do you think they should move the Xbox One X launch back, or should they just leave it and bite the bullet?
See, that's tough. That is a very tough decision. I would personally say move it back, because who's going to want to buy the Xbox One X if they can't play any of the aforementioned games for the Xbox One X? Is pretty much a pointless endeavor.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be, Christmas is going to come around, and I think that's what they were really banking on. Like, oh, we've got this premium console that says 4K, on the box, but, at the same time, the PlayStation Pro says 4K on the box. You're not going to explain that to,
Right.
somebody walking down the hall, or walking down the aisles or whatever. They're just going to see 4K on the box, and one's going to be 500, one's going to be like 350, possibly 300 even at Christmas time, because you know how crazy Black Friday gets.
Right. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Both say the same thing, but at the same time, PlayStation has, look at all these games, look at all, like, the Horizons, the Senua, the Hellblades, that kind of thing. Like, look at how pretty these games look on this system over here, and we're utilizing its power. And then you got the Xbox One X over here, like, oh, look at the game, look at this pretty car game,
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you're over here looking at the PS4 like, wow, they got their stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is amazing. And then you go to Xbox One X and you're looking at it, and Oh, I remember this game. Oh, it might be better. Well, not might be. It will be better in graphics and stuff like that. But I've already played it.
Exactly.
Don't
Yeah.
need to play it again in a higher graphic.
Yeah, especially for $500.
Yeah, for $500.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be
like,
is it worth dropping 500 for?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, sorry. Nah, I'm gonna go with my PS4. But I don't know. Maybe they have some kind of plan for that.
I hope they have a plan.
Lord only knows.
I don't know. I hope there's like a surprise Halo announcement. I don't know, something that we're like, okay, I've seen that this is worth upgrading to, because honestly, at the end of the day, like I said, like when the holidays come around and it's time to like buy your 4K console or whatever, it's
Right.
hard to look at the PlayStation Pro and not be like, okay, well, I'm buying a 4K TV here today on Black Friday anyways. This will save me money and I'll be able to play 4K games on it.
Right.
You know, it's just it's a rough situation that Microsoft has themselves in, especially with, you know, especially since Scalebound got canceled earlier. It's just it's rough. It's looking pretty rough, but
Yeah, unfortunately, but I have faith they'll pull
I
through
hope
it.
they do. I really do, because I think the 3 console market right now is very healthy. I think that's very good. I think when everybody's doing good, it's better for the consumers because they're competing against each other. They're trying to gain our attention, and that's good for us because we start getting better and better deals out of it and that kind of thing. So
Definitely. And they are able to make up their money for what they bought.
oh yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Byron, for joining us today.
It was
It's been
very much
awesome.
so a pleasure.
Where can we find you, sir?
You can find me on my channel, ShadowFoxGaming. We will put a link in the description below.
Yeah, we
I
will.
will see about getting this video up on my channel as well. I am actually thinking about making a page on Facebook, so you may be able to find me on Facebook.
Come on, you gotta get to the Twitters. All right, that's where all the kids are, Byron. Come
Man,
on. You gotta get a Twitter.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I know,
It's
we were
just
apprehensive too.
slowly.
We were very apprehensive. It's a hard nut to crack.
Definitely.
All
I
right.
am. Well, I was about to say I am on Instagram, but
Oh,
then
okay.
again, that's just my personal profile, so I might have to like make a completely new account.
All right, give him time, ladies and gents. He will have that up and running.
Definitely
Okay.
will.
But I will
Once
definitely
have-
leave a link to his channel in the description. You will find him there. All right. Any thoughts before we go?
Um, not really.
All
Just hope everybody has a nice day and a nice night wherever you're at.
Sounds good. All right. Remember, everybody, go out there, get good.